Long ago, in a small mist-shrouded village nestled deep within the Irish countryside, there lived a man known as Stingy Jack. Jack was a blacksmith by trade, renowned for his craftsmanship, but infamous for his miserly ways and penchant for trickery. Villagers whispered about his cunning exploits, and many a tale of deceit and greed revolved around his name. One crisp autumn evening, as the days grew shorter and the nights colder, Jack was working late in his dimly lit forge. The clang of his hammer echoed through the empty streets when a sudden gust of wind blew out his lantern, plunging the workshop into darkness. Grumbling, Jack fumbled for a match when a figure emerged from the shadows. Tall, with a face partially hidden by a hood, the stranger exuded an eerie presence. Jack felt a shiver crawl down his spine. "Who goes there?" he called out, trying to mask his unease with bravado. The figure stepped into the flickering light of the dying embers, revealing a sinister smile. "Good evening, Jack," the stranger greeted, his voice smooth and unsettling. "I have come to have a word with you." Jack narrowed his eyes. "Who are you, and what do you want?" The stranger's smile widened. "I am the devil," he announced with a casualness that made Jack's blood run cold. "And I've come to claim your soul." Jack's heart pounded, but his mind raced even faster. He was known for his cunning ways, and he wasn't about to let the devil get the better of him. "Oh, is that so?" he replied, a sly smile creeping onto his lips. "Well, before you take me away, how about we have one last drink together?" The devil, amused by Jack's audacity, agreed. "Very well, Jack. One last drink." Jack led the devil to the nearest pub, a rickety establishment known for its cheap ale and rowdy patrons. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of spilled beer and the sound of raucous laughter. Jack ordered 2 pints of the finest ale and handed one to the devil. As they drank, Jack concocted a plan. "You know," he said, leaning closer to the devil, "I seem to have left my wallet at home. Could you transform yourself into a coin so I can pay for our drinks? After all, it's just a small favor before you take my soul." The devil, intrigued by the idea, agreed and transformed into a silver coin, which Jack quickly pocketed. But instead of paying the barkeep, Jack slipped the coin into his bag, which had a small silver cross inside. The presence of the cross prevented the devil from changing back into his true form. Jack chuckled to himself, feeling triumphant. "Looks like I have you trapped, devil. How about a deal? I'll let you go if you promise not to take my soul for another 10 years. The devil, unable to escape the confines of the bag, had no choice but to agree. Reluctantly, he promised Jack 10 more years of life. Satisfied, Jack removed the coin from the bag and set it on the bar, where it immediately transformed back into the devil. The devil, seething with anger but bound by his promise, disappeared in a puff of smoke, leaving Jack alone in the pub, grinning from ear to ear. 10 years passed swiftly, and Jack's life continued much the same. He remained a shrewd and miserly man, always looking out for himself and rarely giving a thought to others. The villagers still whispered about his cunning ways, but no one dared cross him. As the anniversary of his pact with the devil approached, Jack grew increasingly anxious. He knew the devil would come for him again, and this time, he needed an even more ingenious plan to save himself. On the night of the 10th anniversary, as the moon hung low in the sky, casting eerie shadows across the landscape, the devil appeared once more at Jack's forge. "Your time is up, Jack," the devil announced, his eyes burning with a malevolent glow. "I have come to collect what is mine." Jack, his mind racing, feigned nonchalance. "Very well, devil. But before we go, could you do me one last favor? See that apple tree over there? I'd like to have one of its apples for the journey. Would you be so kind as to climb up and fetch one for me?" The devil, wary but curious, agreed. He climbed the tree with ease, plucking a ripe apple from its highest branch. As he descended, Jack hurriedly carved a cross into the trunk of the tree, trapping the devil among its branches. The devil howled with rage, realizing he had been tricked once again. "Release me, Jack," he demanded, his voice echoing through the night. Jack smirked. "I'll release you on one condition. You must promise never to take my soul." The devil, furious but defeated, agreed. "Very well, Jack. I promise never to take your soul." With that, Jack erased the cross from the tree, and the devil leapt down, vanishing in a cloud of smoke and brimstone. Jack, triumphant once more, returned to his forge, confident that he had outsmarted the devil for good. Years passed, and Jack continued his miserly ways, growing older and more reclusive. His tricks and deceit earned him few friends, and by the time he reached the end of his life, he was a lonely, bitter old man. One cold, stormy night, Jack's time finally came. He breathed his last breath and his spirit left his body, wandering into the afterlife. But when he arrived at the gates of heaven, he was turned away. His life of greed, deceit, and selfishness had earned him no place among the blessed. Desperate, Jack turned to the gates of hell, hoping for some respite. But the devil, true to his word, refused to let him enter. "You are not welcome here, Jack," the devil sneered. "You will wander the earth for all eternity with no place to call home." Jack, terrified and alone, pleaded for mercy. The devil, amused by Jack's plight, tossed him a single burning coal from the fires of hell. "Here," he said with a wicked grin. "Use this to light your way in the darkness." Jack, with no other choice, placed the coal inside a carved-out turnip, creating a makeshift lantern. From that day forward, Jack's spirit roamed the earth, doomed to wander in the darkness, forever searching for a place to rest. As the years went by, the legend of Stingy Jack spread far and wide. Villagers told stories of a wandering spirit, carrying a flickering lantern, doomed to walk the earth for all eternity. They called him Jack of the Lantern, or simply Jack-o'-lantern. On dark, stormy nights, when the wind howled through the trees and the moon hid behind thick clouds, people claimed to see a faint, ghostly light moving through the countryside. Some said it was Stingy Jack, still searching for a place to rest. Others believed it was a warning, a reminder of the consequences of a life lived in greed and deceit. Over time, the tradition of carving lanterns from turnips and pumpkins emerged, with villagers placing them outside their homes to ward off evil spirits and keep Stingy Jack at bay. The eerie glow of these lanterns became a symbol of Halloween, a night when the veil between the living and the dead was at its thinnest, and spirits like Jack roamed free. The story of Stingy Jack serves as a timeless reminder that a life driven by greed, deceit, and selfishness leads to a lonely and cursed existence. True fulfillment comes from honesty, generosity, and kindness, for in the end, the choices we make shape our eternal fate.